Rabbit, everybody. It is August 1st, 2016. This is Radio Tokyo. I'm Jonathan. I'm here. Nick's here. Like I said, August 1st. In case you're wondering why the first thing I said is Rabbit is a long, long time ago, I heard this superstition when I was a kid when I heard this. Apparently, if the first words out of your mouth every month are Rabbit, you have good luck all month long. So my birthday's at the end of this month. So hopefully it'll be an awesome month between then and now. But you know who else's fucking birthday was this weekend, or even close to now? It was Nick's. It was Nick's. Nick, happy goddamn birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'm sorry that we didn't do a show that day because I would have actually sang it. Like, I would have actually sang the song, and we would have gotten copyright strucken. But I would have sang happy birthday to you. Anyway, how are you doing today on your non-birthday now?
Pretty good. Nothing really much has changed, I guess. I'm the big Frio now. And yeah, doesn't really feel that different.
It's really not different. I mean, of course I'm a few years ahead of you now, and you'll never catch, like, I could die right now and you'd still never catch me in age, but it's really nothing. Like, it's just a day now. But I'm happy for you. You're 30 now. You can do everything you could do when you were 29.
I know, right? And
like nothing changed. Well, I mean, like, welcome to another year of boring adulthood.
I feel like every year that you grow older, you should have access to a new thing that you can do before.
You mean like talent points in World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
That would be cool, except for Blizzard runs World of Warcraft, and they're not exactly in favor of the talent points that you get like every level. Now it's, every, like, you get, I don't fucking keep track of it anymore. I've stopped caring. I think it's level 15, level 25, and I like, it's every 10 levels. I think it's stupid. Unless you're a demon hunter and all of your goddamn talents are between level 100 and level 110.
Did they change the talent thing again to the weapon thing?
Yeah, you're gonna get talents for your artifact weapon, which is, I guess, interesting. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I'm whatever Blizzard makes, I'm gonna play it. So I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't seem to matter how much I bitch about things, or how much you bitch about things, or how much anyone bitches about anything. Blizzard does what they want to do, and that's fine because they're adults like you.
Indeed. I mean, it's not like they listen to us. Well, actually, I don't know. Sometimes I think Blizzard's more like a teenager. So it's trying to discover itself.
Probably. Actually, that's actually a very accurate statement. Anyway, for your birthday, the show got a new title card.
Ooh. I'm special. Yeah.
Yeah, you're special.
And
like,
you guys keep saying you don't want me around.
Well, anyway, yeah, new title card for the show. If you're watching at home right now, you get to see it now. Honestly, it could probably be edited so there's not this big ass white space at the top, but that's fine, whatever. Anyway, okay, if you're looking at it right now, you notice something has changed. It used to just have the Facebook link on there. Now we have a Patreon and a Twitter account. Actually, it's my Twitter account, so, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there's 3 ways to get a hold of us now, and please, please, please go to the Patreon and donate. The only thing we're asking for is $1 a month. I think most people can probably spare that, but Nick and I always continue to strive to make better things and cooler things and have more shows and be able to reach more people. and it takes a little bit extra money to do that. So we would appreciate any support from you at all. It's kind of like um, uh, your PBS, your local PBS station. They occasionally have fundraising drives. That's basically what Patreon is. And there's a lot of YouTubers who use a Patreon account. So, and they do some amazing, amazing things.
Yeah. I mean, it would be really nice if we could get the Patreon to start supporting the show a little bit. And then we could really make some cool things, possibly.
Yep. Because see, okay, like one of the main reasons is a while back I discussed having us on a different platform other than just YouTube and posting the shows to Facebook, which is fine. We managed to have a pretty consistently large audience doing that. But I would like to at some point in time, and Nick, you have to you. I cannot apparently not stammer today. You have said essentially the same thing. Um, we want at some point in time to be able to have the show, like an audio only version of the show, be available on, say, something like iTunes or on, for example, Blog Talk USA. Now, if you're familiar with, for example, Secular Talk, ran by Kyle Kulinski, that's basically what Kyle does. We're trying to go to that same general format. Now, we're still going to be a YouTube-based program, so that's cool. So please, like us on here on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. But we would like to have a larger audience than what we have because honestly, I think Nick and I are the two coolest people on the earth, so why not share ourselves with everybody?
I mean, I don't know if we should share all of ourselves. That might scare people away. But
It's true, it's true. Your
I'm willing to
giant
show up.
metallic body will frighten most children.
Hey, I, I don't I'm not a robot, okay? Okay. I feel like
Nick,
that
Nick,
needs to
it's
be a
okay.
thing
It's
now.
okay to be a robot. It's okay.
I want to make that a shirt or a hat. Can we make that a shirt or a hat?
Actually, yeah, you know what? We probably could do something like that with like Cafe Fresh or something like that. Just have a shirt that says "I am not a robot," and then I don't know. We'll look into that. But since we're giving shout outs to various YouTubers who do awesome things, to mention again because it's coming up. It's only a couple weeks away now. The Drunken Peasants live 24-hour fundraiser for Galen Halcyon on August 13th here on YouTube. Please, 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 keep an eye on our Facebook page and watch our show regularly. Um, I'm still trying to get an updated list from Pimp Monk about it. But thus far, as I said, Pimp Monk, we will be on there, presumably, as far as I know, we're going to be on there. Shayra, a bunch of the people will be on there for a live 24-hour stream to help raise money for Galen. He's an awesome guy. He does some amazing things, and he really, 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 really badly needs the help. Like I said, he's got some serious health problems, and he's had to have numerous surgeries. The last time he had to have surgery, I think it was $25,000, essentially buying a brand new car just fix one small problem, and they're ongoing health issues for him. So he needs the help. It's a good cause. I promise it's a good cause. Uh, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. And whenever we get the final list of names who are going to be involved, please, please, please check the show out. Donate to them. And if you can't donate, please at least share uh, the fact that the show is going to be going on, and just tune in and watch for like what else do you have to do on the 13th? It's not like you're involved in anything. I guess I don't know. I can't really speak for everybody, but I'm gonna be there, and I actually have shit to do that day too. Like that's a busy day for me, aside from being on the internet. So like I have things to do. So show up and be awesome. God damn it.
And donate, because, yeah, that will help.
It will. It will. And by donate, I don't mean do, like I'm listening to butcher his name, Milo Yiannopoulos. Don't do the shit that he did as far as donating. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the clip, it happened like in April, and I just now saw this. It's the most amazing thing. By the way, hashtag free Milo. Hashtag free Milo. For those of you who don't know, Milo is a commentator, and he was banned from Twitter because apparently he said some offensive things. Now, I haven't ever seen what he said that was offensive, but the accusations were made, and he was still banned from Twitter nonetheless. Anyway, point being, back in April, he was at a college, and some people started harassing him, and comedian Steven Crowder stood up and basically proceeded over the course of about 5 minutes to completely insult everybody in the audience and destroy forever the social justice warrior movement of modern days, which is where basically you bitch about something and about the injustices in society on devices built by slaves. In other words, your iPhone. So it's awesome. And if you get a chance to find the video, go watch it. It's hilarious. In fact, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to put it on our Facebook page later so everyone can see it, along with the video of Hillary Clinton doing the Macarena at the 1996 Democratic National Convention, which I posted over the weekend. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't see it, go fucking check it out right now. It's amazing. Now, of course, she's not really actually doing the Macarena. Everyone else in the room is, but it's important to understand the context of the video, no matter what you think about it. Okay, in '96, the Macarena was the most like it was the go-to song for everybody for everything. So there she is. She's dancing to the Macarena. Well, everyone in the audience is dancing because it was the theme song for that particular convention. And Hillary is just standing there clapping. And the reason I bring it up is because her response to this is actually still relevant 25 years later. I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, 20 years later. And goddamn, I'm old. Anyway, um, Hillary's response was when she was asked why she was not actually dancing along with everyone else there, is because she was going to dance the Macarena later. In fact, she said she would dance after Bill won. Both her and Al Gore would dance the Macarena, and it's been 2 decades now, Mrs. Clinton. You haven't danced the Macarena yet. It's just proof she's been lying the whole time.
What if she meant to dance the Macarena behind closed doors? What other secrets is she are is she holding? I want to know.
Exactly. Exactly. What other secrets does Mrs. Clinton possibly have? What card does she have hidden up her terribly tailored sleeve?
Well, we could look at her leaked emails and dig through those.
Well, see, here's the interesting thing. Tiffany, our guest we had the other day, has actually read through. Apparently Tiffany's insane, but I love her anyway. She read through a lot of the 20 plus thousand emails, at least, that showed that the DNC was in collusion with news media to keep Bernie from being the nominee. She read through several of them, and she was not very happy at all, and I understand why. But I actually feel bad for people who have to do that shit like on purpose. Like, oh look, here's another section of emails. Haha, go read it. Yay! We're reading more emails. Yay!
I mean, if it's your actual job, like it'd be a hell of a job to do though, to just go through one after another, after another, after another. Because I know at some point you get bored, and then you might just overlook something that actually important, or you might pay attention to something too much because you're trying to find some justification for reading through all of these emails. And it's just you It's like sifting through a haystack, trying to find one needle, which could be a very tiny needle, or there could be 100 needles that are just scattered throughout, or there could be poisonous needles.
Do you know who I want to read through all the emails?
Who?
Tucker Carlson from Fox News.
Which one is he?
It doesn't really matter, honestly, who he is, because he's fucking irrelevant. Except for him being on Fox News and everything. He says apparently matters, because Fox News is, the mouthpiece of God, apparently. Anyway, Tucker Carlson has been running his goddamn mouth since the DNC ended, and his latest thing is that he thinks it's disgusting that there were, rather, gender neutral bathrooms at the DNC because apparently they didn't have them at the RNC. They did. So, um, yeah, he's upset over nothing, over people using the restroom because apparently in 2016 we have to give a good goddamn who uses what restroom still because Fox News says so. Just deep breath here. Okay. Fox News actually has gender neutral bathrooms, okay? Tucker Carlson himself is gender neutral. He is a pile of shit. And there are piles of shit in every bathroom for all genders around the world. So, I do want to point out something about Tucker Carlson that seems to have gone entirely unnoticed, okay? This man needs to shut his cock hole in his face before he talks about people being strange and different and everything, okay? This effeminate little bitch on Fox News, it's exactly what he is, I'm sorry, has got more product in his hair and more makeup on his face than, I don't know, an actual woman like Megyn Kelly. Except Megyn Kelly is not as hateful and vile as Tucker Carlson is. I really can't stand Tucker Carlson, and I'm not trying to say, gendered insults about him to offend our audience, who are women or members of the LGBT community. I'm just trying to point out this man would make a very, very attractive woman, a very hateful but attractive woman. Basically, he would be Melania Trump. He would be Melania Trump, except for I don't think that Tucker Carlson would actually would actually rip off the ideas of someone else. I don't know. And if he did, I kind of think it might be Roger Ailes. And the reason I bring up Roger Ailes, the only reason I'm even going to acknowledge this hateful old bastard existence, the fact that he's been in charge of Fox News, I don't know, the past 20, 25 years. And, of course, he's had to step down. And I think we mentioned this back around the time it happened last week. But essentially, Roger Ailes has been the head of the snake at Fox News. And when you cut the head off, if you're Hydra, three more appear. But no, the snake is supposed to die. And Fox News is evidently not dying. I don't know why. Anyway, I just can't possibly imagine the accusations made against the female reporters at Fox News because apparently they all had to take Roger Ailes' crusty, old, wrinkled man dick in their mouth and blow him to get their job and keep their job. I can only imagine what Pretty Boy Floyd, Tucker Carlson had to do to get his job.
I really don't want to imagine that because I can picture so many horrifying things. And oh God, help me. God, please, please
God
help
has
me.
abandoned you at this point in time, Nick. God has entirely abandoned you. Because, seriously, if, actually, you know what? Just to use an LGBT moniker here, Tucker Carlson would be a twink. He'd be a young, attractive man with a nice ass who is a bottom. That's exactly what he is. Fuck you, Tucker Carlson. I'm sorry. Just stop being such an asshole to everybody else. Now, I would like to apologize here because we do have several members of our audience and our fans who are members of the LGBT community. I apologize sincerely to you. I'm not trying to offend you by calling Tucker Carlson what he is. a disgusting little shit-faced faggot. That's exactly what he is. I'm sorry. That's what he is. I really don't have anything nice to say. Like, I have to go to use pejorative terms, that are insulting to people that are watching our show to try and bring this man down. Now, I could be nice about him. I could, be nice and, just completely eviscerate his entire career. But no, look at the man. Look at the man. It's weird. It's like, for some reason, he seems to be like basically every minister, especially the Catholics, who talk about how homosexuality is wrong, like every politician. And you always find out later on that they're sliding their shoes underneath the stall and wiggling them around to get the attention. Like there's always something there. There's always something there. So I'm willing to bet that Tucker Carlson is so angry at the fact that his Grinder account has not gotten any messages, that he's taking it out on members of the LGBT community. I guarantee you Tucker Carlson takes it up the ass. And I know for a fact he had to from Roger Ailes.
I I mean, we could try to do investigative journalism and find this out. I'm sure you could get the job done, John.
No, 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 no. See, what I would rather do, I would rather sit here from my position of power, reaching out to our audience and say misleading things. Because that's exactly what Tucker Carlson has made his career out of. That's what Roger Ailes has done. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to completely smear him just because why not? It's what he does to everyone else, right? He talks shit about people and makes the most baseless accusations about them, like, for example, transgender individuals being disgusting. If you think another human being is disgusting, the problem might not be with them. The problem might be with you. So, of course, Tucker Carlson takes it up the ass from Roger Ailes.
I I still feel like it would be worth the time to investigate. I kind of want to go see. This is the reason that we need our Patreon to be funded, so that we can go somehow and discover the truth of these things. I don't know how yet, but we will find a damn way. We will.
Well, see, okay, look, sometimes wondering about things is bad. For example, do you think Kim Kardashian would be good in bed? Well, you can kind of find proof of that, and it's a great letdown. And honestly, if we're going to investigate Tucker Carlson, I would rather just sit here and insult the man, and make baseless accusations. Like, for example, I think Tucker Carlson does not only swallow Roger Ailes' cum, I think that he is a bathroom for Roger Ailes himself. In fact, I think that Tucker opens his mouth, puts it on Roger Ailes' asshole, and just sucks the shit out of him. Because see, it's much more fun to do something like that and to talk about somebody, who cannot defend themselves. It's so much fun being a bully. It really, really is. Don't you think so, Nick?
I suddenly don't want to really keep eating my lunch, which is a shame because it's a delicious lunch that and from food leftovers from my birthday. And yeah, uh, I'm I'm not hungry
And
anymore.
that's what it's like watching Fox News.
And apparently our show.
No, no, no. See, our show is actually cool. We, generally, other than specific individuals like Fucker Carlson, don't go out of our way to insult people. But come on, he works for Fox News. I mean, what's he going to do? Is he going to complain to Satan? Oh God, wait a minute, I forgot. There is now going to be an after-school program for Satanists. He will actually have the opportunity to go yell at Satan now.
Wait, he already wasn't doing that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But okay. For those of you who don't know, there is apparently an issue with the Church of Satan having an after-school program at schools because they're going to influence children. says the Christian groups who are handing out Bibles.
This is one of the most hilarious things ever because now, as we've previously stated up before on the show, I am a Catholic, so yay, or whatever. But I actually have known Satanists before, and I was actually good friends with one in high school. And yeah, there's not really anything to be scared of. So, I mean,
Of course they're not. We're talking
there
about
might be a
someone's
goat
imaginary
thing.
friend.
There might be a picture of a goat thing, but um, yeah, that's about it. They're they're not yeah.
Like I said, it's
Unless
it's it's
they
it's it's someone's imaginary friend.
actually wait, unless they actually manage to somehow summon a demon through a portal of some sort. Um, which I'm pretty sure they can't, but if they did, then well, okay, we might need to be a little afraid then. Maybe.
But see, like I said, this is someone else's imaginary friend who wants to come to the imaginary friend party. And since we're talking about a school and not fosters, hint hint, get the reference there. Imaginary friends aren't real. So what are we going to do? I mean, like, okay, here's the thing. People say all the time, and by people I mean Christians and right wing nut jobs, people who have corrupted my own political party here, have been saying that God is not allowed in schools. Okay, if we're not going to allow God, we're going to have to disallow Satan. But if we allow God, we have to allow Satan. It's only fair. I mean, come on now. You can't tell, someone that they're allowed in your school and someone else not be, because that would be bigotry. And we're not a bigoted country, are we? Oh no, we're just so nice to everyone who is different from us in our country. We are so nice to the non-Christians, like the Muslims and the Jews and the brown people and the black people. We have never had a problem being nice to anyone who is not free, right, 21, and Christian.
It's not like we burned witches at the stake.
But Nick, that was for warmth.
I'm pretty sure there were better ways to stay warm.
Oh, you mean like actually just burning the piles of wood that had to be collected to destroy the witches?
Yeah, I think that would have done the same job.
But that would be wasteful, Nick. That would be wasteful. I mean, come on now. Smokey the Bear wants you to prevent forest fires. And we have to conserve all the trees and everything because of the rainforest. So you want people to destroy the rainforest to stay warm, Nick?
I don't think there is actually any rainforest in America.
What do you know? Were
Unless you're
you there?
considering
Were you there, Nick? Were you there?
well, unless you're considering the parts of the world that we conquered. I mean, there are rainforests there, but
You know, you know,
yeah.
I, you know, I bet you Tucker Carlson could have done the investigative work on this. I really think that Tucker Carlson could have gone to find out why exactly it is we burn witches. Because I mean, it would make sense. It would give Fox something. It would give Fox News something to actually report on, other than making up bullshit. I mean, realistically, like I said, we're talking about someone's imaginary fucking friend being brought to a school, So if we're going to talk about imaginary things, how about we have the network built around imaginary things actually talk about something real? Like, I don't know, wait, never mind, never mind. They don't think anything's real. These people who think that Kennedy was shot by a single individual, which could be possible, could be possible, except if you're going to actually test that theory, uh, don't use a stationary model for doing it, and that's what all the tests have shown is a stationary model. Anyway, point being, I fucking hate Fox News.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people do, including me.
But
I
Nick, you're
think
Catholic. You
they're
can't
kind
hate
of.
Fox News.
eh, I don't think Fox News actually is very supportive of the Catholic Church. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of problems with the Catholic Church.
Well, Fox News has got a lot of problem with a lot of people, apparently including former presidential nominee John McCain.
I also think they kind of hate the Pope, but that's slightly beside the point.
But Nick, to be fair, who does not hate the Pope?
We don't. We actually kind of
That's true.
like him.
It's true. I do. I mean, like, other than a couple of his stances on things, I generally like him. But yeah, Fox News has been shit talking John McCain for a while now because John McCain is not a true Republican. Anyway, okay, Fox News, the most hated network in America, not the most trusted, the most hated network in America. Uh, God, is this the apparently the Fox News episode, Nick?
I apparently, I mean, it's not like John McCain is probably the most Republican that's left, and it's not like we didn't vote for him. I think we both voted for him actually
I did,
when he
I
ran
did,
for
I did vote for him. Okay, okay. I don't want to get this angry at this time in the afternoon, but I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Okay, Donald Trump has been running along apparently with Tucker. You know what? I think Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson get together and they mutually blow Roger Ailes and they decide uh, other than who's going to actually swallow his nasty, nasty ass load that day, I think they decide who's going to talk more shit. And Donald Trump apparently won both the competition to swallow and to talk shit because he has been deriding for, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 days now, a man who gave his life in defense of his country because this man is a Muslim. Fuck it. Okay. Anyway, you can look up what he's had to say about it on your own. But I want to read John McCain's response because I read this and I literally just shed tears the entire way through it. Okay. John McCain had to say, the Republican Party I know and love is the party of Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Ronald Reagan. I wear a bracelet bearing the name of a fallen hero, Matthew Stanley, which his mother, Lynn, gave me in 2007 at a town hall meeting in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. His memory and the memory of our great leaders deserve better from me. In recent days, Donald Trump disparaged a fallen soldier's parents. He has suggested that the likes of their sons should not be allowed in the United States, to say nothing of entering its service. I cannot emphasize enough how deeply I disagree with Mr. Trump's statement. I hope Americans understand that the remarks do not represent the views of our Republican Party, its officers, or candidates. Make no mistake, I do not valorize our military out of some unfamiliar instinct. I grew up in a military family and have my own record of service and have stayed closely engaged with our armed forces throughout my public career. In the American system, the military has value only inasmuch as it protects and defends the liberties of the people. My father was a career naval officer, as was his father. For hundreds of years, every generation of McCains has served the United States in uniform. My sons serve today, and I am proud of them. My youngest served in the war that claimed Captain Khan's life as well as in Afghanistan. I want them to be proud of me. I want to do the right thing by them and their comrades. Hamayan Khan did exactly that, and he did it all for the right reasons. This accomplished young man was not driven to service as a United States Army officer because he was compelled by any material need. He was inspired as a young man by his reading of Thomas Jefferson, and he wanted to give back to the country that had taken him and his parents in as immigrants when he was only 2 years old. Captain Khan's death in Iraq on June 8, 2004, was a shining example of the valor and bravery inculcated into our military. When a suicide bomber accelerated his vehicle toward a facility with hundreds of American soldiers, Captain Khan ordered his subordinates away from the danger. Then he ran towards it. The suicide bomber, striking prematurely, claimed the life of Captain Khan, and Captain Khan, through his selfless action and sacrifice, saved the lives of hundreds of his brothers and sisters. Scripture tells us that greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Captain Hamayan Khan of the United States Army showed in his final moments that he was filled and motivated by this love. His name will live forever in American memory as an example of true American greatness. In the end, I am morally bound to speak only to the things that command my allegiance, and to which I have dedicated my life's work, the Republican Party, and more importantly the United States of America. I will not refrain from doing my utmost by these lights, simply because it may benefit others with whom I disagree. I claim no moral superiority over Donald Trump. I have a long and well-known public and private record for which I have to answer at the final judgment, and I repose my hope in the promise of mercy and the moderation of age. I challenge the nominee to set the example for what our country can and should represent. Arizona is watching. It is time for Donald Trump to set the example for our country and the future of the Republican Party. While our party has bestowed upon him the nomination, it is not accompanied by unfettered license to defame those who are the best among us. Lastly, I'd like to say to Mr. and Mrs. Khan, thank you for immigrating to America. We are a better country because of you, and you are certainly right. Your son was the best of America, and the memory of his sacrifice will make us a better nation, and he will never be forgotten.
That was that was pretty beautiful, and that's why I've always liked John McCain. And yeah, I mean, he's been one of my favorite politicians for a very long time. I don't always agree with everything he says, of course, but that, yeah, that was pretty much the best example of the Republican Party that there's been in a very, very, very long time.
It is. See, I'm like you. I don't always agree with John McCain, but I think when he's calling out, someone else's just belligerent stupidity, like for example Donald Trump, which is, oh God, for the next 100 days is going to be a daily activity for some people, even though it's been one for 16 months already. Um, God damn, we have the longest election process in the world. It needs to stop. We need to cut down the time at some point in time. Like somewhere hopefully soon on our election process.
There's a variety of things that could improve the election process. A variety of things.
Not least of which is actually getting people to actually, one, understand what's going on, and two, actually vote. Because apparently it's only about 9% of the U.S. population that actually gets out and votes regularly. And I'm glad to be a 9%er, but, just fuck it. Like, whatever's going on. But yeah, John McCain is
Well,
easily one of the most
it's
well-spoken.
there's actually a really easy way to get people out to vote, and Europe actually is really good at this. You make it a national holiday, and you make it against the law not to vote.
I still
If you
think
take
I still think what would
if
be the
you
best way to
either one
get
of those,
people out to vote would be to put super rare Pokemon spawn points at polling stations.
well, yes, but we haven't had that option until just now. But yeah, that probably would be the most effective thing now.
It really would be. It really would be. Especially okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm angry about Trump still. Anyway, since I went ahead and brought up Pokemon Go, There was an update over the weekend. If you don't play the game, this doesn't really matter to you, I guess. But if you do play the game, the update, of course, actually does matter. What they did is, and I probably should have gotten a screenshot of this for the show, but I didn't. So whatever. Anyway, they have removed. Oh, excuse me. They have removed the original tracking system that was in the game. You no longer have to worry about the little feet prints, because the one footprint was 100 meters or less, two is 200, and three is 300 or more. So that's gone. Now when you log in the game, you just see the Pokemon that are nearby. And there's been some confusion. Apparently, uh, they're all within like 70 yards, which is still pretty decent, 70 feet of you. Um, I'm sorry, not 70 feet, like 100, whatever it is. Anyway, um, so they're still,
70 meters.
yeah, thank you. Like, basically, it's one city block,
Because
roughly, give or take, is the area we're looking at now, which is about a third of the size of the original search area. So, uh, there's a confusion here. Apparently, that 70-meter range is accurate, and it's also not accurate. I don't know. It really depends on who you ask. Now, I'm willing to bet you it's actually accurate because there was another update along with this to the game, and the other update increased the spawn rate of Pokemon in your general area. And I've tested this a couple times. Um, I have dropped like an incense a couple times, and by the way, the incense is guaranteed to get you a Pokemon at least every 5 minutes if you are not in a busy area. Like for example, if you're near a Pokestop and a gym and stuff like that, like in a more populated area, for example, in my town I live in, if I go downtown where all the Pokestops and gyms and shit are at, the spawn rate's pretty quick. There's things that are going to show up all the time because the best spot to go is by the gym in the middle of town. Like there's two of them, but there's one like directly in the middle, and there's the gym, and then there's two Pokestops literally across. I mean, we're talking like 100 feet away from one another. Okay, so you can sit there, and then there's another one not far from that. So you can sit there and just kind of walk back and forth between these three places and get the Pokestops and everything else. And people are consistently always putting lures down at these stops all the time. So, things spawn all the goddamn time. Like I said, I'm willing to bet that it's actually 70 meters because the spawn range was the spawn rate. I'm sorry, not range was increased. And again, I've tested it. I have just sat here and just let the game run, and I actually am getting things to spawn every now and then. Not that often. I actually see a higher spawn rate if I use the incense, but just letting it run, I have seen some pretty neat things show up. So now it's fixed to where you'll see something on your tracker, and it's there, and you can move around and increase your chances of finding it, but things are naturally going to start showing up no matter where you're at, which is awesome.
yeah, but I actually have a bit of a bone to pick with the game and Niantic because so I'm not sure how many people know this. Well, I'm sure lots of people notice whether they actually realize the problem or not, but the tracker has been broken for a long time, which is why they got rid of the old tracking system. And to fix this, fans had made various tracking sites. I think some of the more popular ones were PokeTracker, and my favorite was actually PokeVision. And PokeVision was perhaps a little bit too good at tracking. It was almost cheating in a way because they were actually taking the data from the game and pinpointing on GPS maps where the Pokemon were and how long you had to get to the Pokemon. So, for instance, I could scan any area around me and see if there were any Pokemon there and how long I would have to actually get there to see if it would be worth me trying to go out. Um, and then I could actually scan the city, even if I wasn't anywhere near the city, and see where the spawn points were and try to find some of the nests. Like I actually found a Magikarp nest and a Jigglypuff nest in Washington, D.C., and some various other things. Um, and I can understand why Niantic didn't want this service to keep existing. However, if you're going to get rid of the tracking services, fix the goddamn tracking in the game. Why would you? Did, I know they made changes to the tracking parts, but the whole part of the whole fun of Pokemon Go is the ability to deductively find Pokemon. It doesn't make any sense that there's no real tracking system other than wandering aimlessly around about one city block, which isn't exactly a good thing for a lot of people. There needs to be a tracking system, I'm sorry, of some sort to help people figure out what's going on.
There does, and see, um, I'm actually okay with the system that we had that they put in on the weekend. The problem is, I would like there to be something still that tells you what wrong, or at least an official statement, something that tells you exactly what the fucking range is. I mean, if it's just within the area that like you had the little reticule thing that goes out from you. If it's within that range, like I said, that's probably about seven. Okay, I that's about a city block. So you're looking at maybe football field ish range. Which is fine. I'm fine with that. Well, it's less than I'm now thinking about. Anyway, point being, I'm okay with that. But there does need to be something that shows you um, the distance, and the ability to actually track these specific ones was removed with this update, and that makes it even harder because, for example, uh, I has had the little blank sprites show up for a Poliwhirl and a Staryu. In case you're wondering how the hell it is I know what these are, it's because it's not difficult to figure out. When you look at the sprite list, you can see which one it is. Okay, um, it makes it harder to find that specific ones. For example, when I caught my uh, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Not Pidgeotto. Anyway, like whatever the final evolved form of it
Pidgeot.
is. Thank you, Pidgeot. When I caught the like one in the wild, it was actually in my next door neighbor's front yard. Well, if I had had the camera on, it would have been sitting in their magnolia tree. So it was like literally next door. And thanks to the old tracker, I was able to find it a lot easier. But with the new system, I'm still going to have to wander around. Like it's still going to require a lot of movement to find these goddamn Pokemon. But with the old system, you could still say, "Oh, hey, look, it's within this range," and you just wander around, within an area. Like it helps you narrow things down. I mean, the new tracking system is fine because you're going to see more Pokemon where you're at, but it's also stupid as shit because you're not going to find specific ones that you want, and it's leading me to find more goddamn Rattatas and Pidgeys than anything else, and it's annoying.
Well, that's actually a good thing for you in a way because, and this is kind of a silly part of the game, but I don't think that people realize that Pidgeys and Caterpies and Weedles are actually the best possible Pokemon that you can catch. They are literally the most valuable Pokemon that you can catch. Because the best way to gain experience, and this is another problem with the game, is evolving. And the best things to evolve, the cheapest and most efficient ones, are Pidgeys, Caterpies, and Weedles.
Exactly.
So, people, I mean, you might think that it's, oh no, great, another Pidgey, another Caterpie, another Weedle. But you should actually be really excited when you see one. And that's sad, but it's true.
See, that was a conversation I was having with okay. The last time I actually went uptown, to see what our gym, see how our gyms and everything were doing, I had a conversation with the person who had just captured it. Okay, and they asked me if I was one of the people who was still seeing Pidgeys and shit. Everyone, I said, yeah. I said, well, here's what you can do. Of course, you can go level and you'll go find, like the higher the level you are, like the character level, the higher level your like the higher up on the sprite list your Pokemon will be. For example, now I'm seeing, like fully evolved forms of certain Pokemon showing up. Rather than just having Pidgeys, Rattatas, and shit like that. But I still get, the little trash Pokemon all the time. But the trash Pokemon are what you want, and I've tried to convince several individuals that you need to now I say this with a grain of salt, or at least a couple of grains of salt. Uh, and that grain being that Pokeballs are a very valuable thing, So unless, you're willing to spend actual money on them, or you have gyms that are regularly taken over and you're able to get the defender bonus from them, or you're just catching so many Pokemon that you're able to level and get Pokeballs every time you level, your Pokeballs are going to be kind of limited. And with the ones that I have seen pop up lately, sometimes it takes me a minute or two to actually capture them, and I go through, 5, 6, 10 Pokeballs trying to do it. But it's fine because I've got quite a like I'm good for a while. Like it's going to be, I don't know. Actually, tonight, I have to go somewhere tonight, so I'm gonna have the opportunity to get some Pokestops and catch some stuff over in a much larger town. That's fine. But uh, like you said, all those Pidgeys and Rattatas and shit like that, you do want them. You do want all the trash Pokemon. It's kind of like gold farming in World of Warcraft, like by running dungeons. You don't want to just loot, like the green quality items on up. No, loot everything and fucking vendor it. This is basically what Pidgeys and Rattatas and shit like that are. They're the ones that are going to get you the Stardust. They're the ones that's going to get you the uh, uh, little candies that you need. Now, of course, you can only revolve a Rattata once, but you can evolve a Pidgey 3 times. And if you happen to have a lucky egg, which you can buy from the store for 80 Pokecoins, and you're going to want to do that, you'll be able to sit there and evolve all of these things. And that is the quickest way to level your character. In fact, I did it last night. Just sitting here, at my computer, I was playing Hearthstone on the computer and or whatever I was doing, and I had the game running on my phone. And I dropped a lucky egg. I had a lucky egg, so I dropped that, and I also dropped an incense. So every 5 minutes, I was catching a Pokemon, and the normal catch XP for one is 100, but the lucky coin doubles it, so that was 200 XP per catch. And then I just started sitting here like the rest of the time, like when it wasn't my turn in Hearthstone, I would just start evolving every Pokemon that I had that I could, and I got a level and a half out of doing it. Like it's seriously worth keeping all the trash Pokemon, and uh, of course you want to trade them in to get more candies if you need the candies. But if you catch enough, eventually you'll have quite a bit of things to evolve. So just go through it and start evolving shit and level your characters and Don't be a bitch about it. Learn to play the game and take advantage of it. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people complain about that, and I can understand why they would be bored. Just but basically part of the end game for leveling is just catch as many Pidgeys as you can, and that can be very boring. And I understand why people are complaining about it, but it is what it is for now. And like you said, leveling is actually probably the most important part of the game. Um, is basically getting to level 30 is your top priority. Once you get to that, you are catching the highest level Pokemon that you can in the wild, and you are hatching the highest level Pokemon possible from your eggs. So after that, you're just trying to get be able to power up your Pokemon to even higher levels. The max is 40, which is an
Pretty much.
incredibly long grind, like an incredibly long grind, especially with the way their XP system works. But yeah, so don't skip on the Pidgeys. Embrace the Pidgeys.
It is a pretty long grind. But see, every time I have seen a gym captured, not just here but anywhere else, everyone I know who's seen a gym, there's only been a couple of times where it's been someone who was higher than say level 13 or 15. It's always been like a level 11 that I've seen in every gym I have seen. And I finally got to level 10 last night. Now I'll be honest, as much as I play this game, I actually don't get out and actually go and do a lot of things with it. I should. I really should. Um, but it kind of ate through my data plan. um, I'll be honest, it really did. Nick, you were right. It just took my data plan and was like nom 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 nom. Uh, so I understand people who are kind of hesitant to get out and play it. But since we're nearing the end of the show, I do want to talk about one final thing real fast.
Okay.
Game of Thrones is ending.
Is anyone really surprised by that?
No, I'm not. When the announcement for there being at least two more seasons was made, I remember posting something about it on our Facebook page and mentioning that this is likely to be close to the last season. Season 7 is going to be shorter than the past ones have, and season 8 will be like season 8 is essentially like a little mini series type thing, like maybe 5 episodes, give or take. Really short. Season 7 will be, I think, 9 or 10, and like I said, season 8 is going to be really, really short, and the show's going to be over with. So you got two more seasons left. I mean, really, effectively, it's one full season, maybe season and a half ish left of Game of Thrones. But that was the announcement, and no one is fucking surprised because we're really at the end. I mean, it's kind of it. I don't want to say that the end is a guarantee, but it's kind of not hard to figure out what's going to happen. Really, it's not. And we've done a couple of episodes about this in the past and talked about it. But yeah, Game of Thrones is ending. Yay! Finally, no more bare breasts on TV for a while. Fuck no, it's HBO. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Of course there'll be more. I mean, it's pretty easy to see that we're reaching the end. And of course, everyone has their own theory on how it's going to end, which, and most people's theories are generally pretty similar about what's going to happen. So, I was actually surprised season 7 wasn't the last. I feel like they could have just done everything they needed to in season 7. And I almost feel like having season 8 is just trying to draw it out too long. But that's just kind of me.
I think the worst part is that it's going to force George R. R. Martin to actually end the book sooner. Now, the reason I say this is, um, he's already told HBO how everything ends. So I think what's going on is that HBO is going to beat the book. Well, we know they're going to beat the books in being published. Okay, so
Well,
HBO has realized
they've already beaten the books in several regards.
not by much. I mean, like they're kind of dead even to where everything is expected to be when the new book comes out 10 years from now. um, but
Well,
uh,
I mean, Jon Snow is already back from the dead and recaptured Winterfell, so
spoiler
it's
alert.
already way past the book. If you didn't know that, then you're clearly not watching the show. But
Yeah, it's kind of like someone got mad at me one day because they said they were starting to watch Game of Thrones. I'm like, have you ever watched it? And this is before I'd even seen it. I said, no, but I do know everyone dies. They just looked at me and slapped me, and I'm like, what? What? Goddamn! Everyone dies in Game of Thrones. It's not it's a meme. It's a meme for a reason. People die on the show. Sorry, I'm not spoiling. It's not like I'm telling you important character deaths. I'm just saying everyone dies because George R. R. Martin kind of does that.
yeah, I mean, there 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 are certain things on Game of Thrones that are either pretty darn obvious or just you should know by now. You should know these things by now.
You should, just as you should know that Suicide Squad is coming out at the end of this week. Oh my God, 4 days away. So happy for it. So happy for it. Anyway, that's really basically it for the day. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there's anything left. I can't think of anything for the moment.
actually, I do have one more birthday wish for one person. Happy birthday to our special super friend Holly. Holly is one of the few individuals who actually listened to Radio Tokyo when it got started a decade ago. I'm talking the original incarnation of our program. This is before YouTube was even a thing. This is before Facebook existed. This is way, way back when the show started using Yahoo motherfucking chat. Holly was a fan then. Holly's a fan now. So happy birthday. I love you. Thank you for being a fan of ours for a decade.
And we're old. We're really old.
Yep, you're old
So,
now. Haha, you're old, Mr. 30 years old.
but you're older,
It's true. I am older.
so yeah.
When God
Okay,
said,
everyone.
let there be light, I hit the switch. That's how old I am. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, I think. So please remember to like this video, comment on it, share it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, donate to us on Patreon, please, and reach out to us over Twitter.
Bye bye.
And let's see, we'll talk to all of you Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.